What I want to do to finish this off is at least get started with building a new vessel to replace that Terrier-A3, a vessel that is meant to stay in space all the time. So it can travel between stations, it can go to Minmus, go to the moon, come back, that kind of thing. I'm thinking I would like to have about 2 kilometers per second of delta V on it, and I would also like it to carry at least 5 or 6 kerbals. So I got a lot more. I have things like this. I have the cupola module now. I also have, of course, the hitchhiker can I can use to carry a lot of this. Doesn't carry a lot of kerbals, but it looks good. But I kind of like, this is the pomegranate, and I kind of really like the kind of bulby look you get from these kind of things. Maybe that's just me. But you know, that's 6 kerbals there. Some of them I know are upside down, but I don't mind that. I hope they don't mind that. And this would never return to the surface, so we never need to have any ablator on it. So that would be a useful thing. It also doesn't need parachutes because it's going to go up uncrewed. For that matter, it doesn't. Here, the easiest way to deal with that. It's not going to have any kerbals when it goes up either. There we go. But it doesn't need a ablator. So we can take the ablator out like that. And yeah, I think let's see what we can get out of this thing. So what am's I thinking this is going to need? First, let's up the shielding. We have learned from experience to up the shielding. And I now have nuclear engines too. Let's take a look at our nuclear engines. So we have range east by mass. We have 2 nuclear engines. One is the LV-N Nerve. This is the stock one that I think most of us are pretty familiar with. And then I also have the LV-N410 I can't even say Chernikov. And it is monstrous, and I believe that would be coming from the Restock mod. It's a scaled up version of this, as you can see. That, as cool as that is, kind of overkill, really. So I think what we'll use is probably build it around the nerve. But let's think about what we want this thing to have. Now, I also have extra life support. I want it to have some life support-y type stuff. Let's think about how we're going to get this. And we'll put lights on it. Put supplies. Let's stick in a fairing. Let's go with the 1.25 meter fairing. I'm going to just build a sort of utility section in there. It's going to need, obviously, electric. I have, by the way, no plan. I hope that's probably painfully obvious. Other than, so I don't have a design idea. Other than, we'll see how this comes out. Let's see. Electricity. Let's think about electricity. Let's get this in here. Oh, we should configure these pods. So if we configure the pods, this one has a scrubber, pressure control, water recycler. The other options is a monopropellant fuel cell. Actually, why not have one of each? So we'll keep the water recycler in one of them, and we'll give the other one, configure this one. Where are we here? Where's the configure the pod? There we go. We'll give this one a monopropellant fuel cell so we can use monopropellant to generate electricity. It's nice to have a backup form of electricity. And what else do we want on this? I just look at what I got. Science is not going to be a thing. Actually, let's put in 6 kerbals. And the only reason I'm putting in 6 kerbals is just so I can take a look at the life support. According to this, that now has 5 days of food. I want this thing to like have a month or two of food, really. So here is a big supply. Oh, that is a huge supply container. What happens if I stick in this smaller supply container? That puts it up to 13 days of food. That's not that much, is it? How much? That has 13 units of food. Okay, so we're probably going to need to get into these supply boxes. Those are big. That's a pressurized tank. That's a pressurized tank. These are fairly smaller. 17 days of food. What's this configured for? Food and water. How much water do they have? 98 days of water, but remember there's a water recycler aboard. That's probably why. Let me think. Let's configure this just for food. We'll do one thing at a time. So configure this for just food. Oh, that just changes the... Select the contents. Food. That's it. Alright, so they now have 19 days of food. If I double that up, 26 days of food. If I quadruple that up, let's quintuple, sextuple that up. That is a lot of food. That is 51 days of food. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Water, they have 74 days of water. They are going to need some form of wastewater holders because the water recycler, where's the water recycler? Actually, I can look at it here. I think it's in here somewhere. No, in here? Water recycles in the top one. Okay, configure the pod. Here, we can do this. Water recycler. Water recycler uses electric charge and wastewater to produce water, ammonia, and carbon dioxide. That actually reminds me of something else I can stick on this thing, but one thing at a time. So I need wastewater containers. So let's select the contents. And this is going to be wet waste, I would assume. So that will hold wet waste. The other thing I got, water and food are from Kerbalism. Yep. The other thing I got is a chemical plant. I'm just going to stick this here for now. I just want to look at it. A chemical plant can do all kinds of chemical processes. I haven't used this yet. So let's configure our chemical plant. Might bring this along. So it can do water electrolysis, which uses a whole lot of electricity. 5.8 units of electric charge per second. Uses water to produce hydrogen and oxygen. It has the Sabatier process, which takes electric charge, a much more modest amount of electric charge, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen to produce water and liquid fuel. That's interesting. And it has the Hebier process, if I hope saying that right. Again, a modest amount of electricity, nitrogen, and hydrogen to produce ammonia. Is that all I got? Oh, we have a waste incinerator, which uses waste and oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, water, and electric charge. So this actually generates electric charge. And we have a waste compressor, which uses a fair amount of electric charge, takes the waste, and produces shielding. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure, and then I'm back to I'm not sure that's going to be too useful in this vessel, but it might be something fun to stick on a station and play with. All right, how am I doing for water? I have 74 days of water, as long as they can produce the electricity. Okay, let's keep going. What else we got here? We also need oxygen. They have 5 days of oxygen, so clearly that needs to be worked on. Let's get to here. Here is a pressure. Oh, those are big pressurized tanks. Let's get the smaller pressurized tanks. What happens if I put in 2 of those? And these I want to be just oxygen. That gives them 20 days of oxygen. What if I do, whoops, 4 of them? That gives them 35 days of oxygen. Wouldn't mind them to have a smidge more. Put 2 more like this. That gives them 74 days. Oops, I'm on water, sorry. 50 days of oxygen. Don't forget that if I turn on the monopropellant fuel cell, that actually uses up oxygen. Uses up oxygen in monopropellant. So I should have extra oxygen just for that. But here, one thing at a time. So far, at least on the life support front, I think we're okay. A little bit of extra nitrogen is never going to hurt one of these ships at all. I keep grabbing these big tanks, but let's see if we can put in a small tanks here. Just a couple of them. We're going to switch this over to nitrogen. Select the contents. I just want nitrogen. There we go. So a little bit of extra nitrogen. Oh, that's only 1. I want 2 of those. I always like the look, and we'll change the color of these tanks, but I like the look of lots of little tanks and boxes and stuff. Yep, lots of nitrogen for pressurization when you go to do EVAs for sure. That should be okay. What else we got along this strip? Food, water. Okay, that's all good. That's all good. That's all good. Stress, things are a little cramped. Well, they typically wouldn't be, because right now I got this all with 6 kerbals. I don't think this thing will fly most of the time with 6 kerbals. Let's up the quality of the life support, because this thing is going to fly for a long time. So if I look at, where is this stuff? ECLSS, that's for life support. You change that quality to high. Same thing with this one, change that quality to high. And there is a life support container. I buried it very well. Change that quality up to high. Let's configure the life support, because there is stuff we can do. It's got an extra scrubber. So what do we got? We got a scrubber, we got pressure control, we got a water recycler, we got the fuel cell, we got an air pump. An air pump's for pumping outside air in, which is clearly unnecessary. That would be for a base in a breathable atmosphere. And then that. Okay. I'm going to keep this mostly as backup. Backup pressure control and back. I'm going to turn this one to none. Oh, you can't turn it to none. Okay. Air pump is silly. Pressure control, water recycle. Okay, backup monopropellant fuel cell. I'm surprised. Can I not turn them one of these to none? I'm a little surprised I can't turn them to none. Let's configure this one. It's the water recycler. This one. Is there not a none option? There we go, none. That's interesting. So the one has. So I'm going to just take off. So the monopropellant fuel cell is down in there. Okay. So what are we doing here? I want to also make sure that that monopropellant fuel cell starts in the off position, so it doesn't use up all. It doesn't even have any monopropellant aboard yet. I think we need more stuff. We definitely need more stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick another battery down here. Might end up redesigning this a little bit, but for now, this thing is going to need maybe another battery. Actually, why not get some structural bits? There, a couple of these. They're lighter. And I'm just guessing at electrical needs. I'm going to stick on couple of those. I don't mind if this thing gets a little bit on the large side. And now that gives me kind of a more mounting surfaces. What I'm looking at is, what was I looking at? I was looking at, what was I thinking about? Lost track of my thoughts. Electricity, it's going to need communications. Oh, it's going to need monopropellant. That's what I was thinking about. And it's going to need mono. Let's put on a couple of these Stratus 5s. Oh, they're pretty big. Maybe tuck them in a little bit. That'll be a lot of monopropellant. All right, so let's think. There is enough oxygen and monopropellant. If I took this off, whoops, I think, no, it still says that. Okay, whoops. I'm curious where this thing's getting its electric charge from. It's producing nothing. Oh, that's just on the batteries, of course. So, if I turn on the monopropellant fuel cell, which is hiding in here somewhere, let's keep this pinned. Oh, it doesn't really count it. Oh, wait, there it is. This produces 0.02 units of electric charge per hour. What is using up all of the climatization, communications, scrubber, water? Oh, the water recycler uses up. Okay, let's turn off the water recycler. Oh no, let's not. If I turn off the water recycler, sorry, the water recycler uses a lot of electricity. But it's hardly, let's turn that off temporarily. Now it will last for an hour on the fuel cells. It's not great. Oh well. We need electrical generation. So, where can I put some solar panels on this thing? This is really getting kind of big. Let's take these two life support containers. Actually, no. Let's put them back. Oh, let's see. Control Z. There we go. Let's move these guys up. Remember to dump the fuel cells. Thank you, John. Yep. I'll set that in just a moment. I want to find a spot to sneak in some solar panels. And I want these. It says here we're consuming 0.428 units of electric charge per second with the water recycler on. So I want to make sure that I can cover that. Might need to redesign this whole thing, really. Okay, we're going to include those in. Now, in the sun. Okay, that'll cover it easy. I'm just debating whether this is a functional thing. I might need more batteries, too. Okay, I'm going to find a better home for that. I got to do better. Gots to do better here. Let's see, because I need more batteries. I can see that right now. More batteries, because this thing will not last long in the dark. Now it lasts for an. Well, if I turn off, that's a good point. If I turn off the water recycler, which is the top one, I always click the bottom wrong one. It'll last for 2 hours and 50 minutes. In the dark. That should be okay. Monopropellant fuel cell. Where is... Oh, that was in here. Lots of stuff to think about. We want to dump. I don't know if I want to dump anything. And the monopropellant fuel cell produces nitrogen, so I think I want to... Oh, but then if it does, yeah, if stuff's full, we'll keep it on dump. If it's full, it doesn't run. That's, I think, what happens. Okay. Where can I stick these solar panels? That's really, and these monopropellant containers. I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Let's move these. Actually, where they can go, I got a better idea. Better idea for the monopropellant. So, what if I took the minified ones and just kind of put them up like this? Put 6, 8 of them. That looks way better. I like that. That. Take that, grab that, put it on local. Just going to slide these up in there. As long as I'm not obscuring a hatch or anything, we'll test all that in just a bit. I don't think I would be. I like that. That is a better, I think, look for the... Actually, an even better spot. Oh my gosh, why didn't I think about this before? Is up here. We should disable this staging, by the way, but... There we go. That's all the monopropellant they will ever need. That. Back out of here a bit. There. Can we disable this staging? Because we'll never separate these two. Disable staging. Yes. Disable staging. Good. There's your home for your monopropellants. Silly. Alright, so that looks, I think, a lot better. Where can we put some solar panels? Now, would there be silly here? It might work. Ah, no, I don't like that. Okay. I'll find a spot for them in a little bit. Let's, just so I don't forget they're there. Eventually, we do have to put those on. Okay, let's start thinking about fuel, and then we'll see what we can do. So, this will run on the nuclear engines and only need liquid fuel. So let's put on a Mark 1 fuel container and a nuclear, the LV-N NERV atomic rocket motor. There we go. And let's turn on Kerbal Engineer. And Kerbal Engineer already says 1,536 meters per second at delta V with a thrust to weight of 0.54, which I think is perfectly acceptable. So what I think I might do, again, I got no plan here. What if I put on a little ring of these? That gives a ton of delta V and really not that much. And then here, I got an idea. I has an idea. These the nose cones that would go on those? Yeah. I wish I had slanty nose cones that were small like that, but I don't. But what if I do that? And do that. This is about aesthetics now. Do that. Grab that. Tuck those in. A little bit upwards. There we go. I'm kind of happy with that. Does this have different? No, they don't have different textures, but that is 2,457 meters per second at delta V and a thrust to weight of 0.47. I am very pleased with that. And let's see, get some structural strutty bits in there. think I'm going to stick with the 6-way symmetry. Just put these up like this. Oh, that starts to obscure the hatch. I can see that right there. And I don't think these really are necessary, but I kind of like the look of struts. Just to go like that. Like that. This is the hatch on this side, right? I think so. You got some extra. Yeah, look at that. There we go. That might interfere with the fairing, but we'll find out. Of course, we still got to get this thing in orbit. Where are we going to put these solar panels? Can I just put them on the outside? Will that look okay? Let's take these off. Here, I'm going to take the struts off for just a bit. Still thinking. Slide these up. I can live with that. In fact, if they were the other way around, I think they'd look even better. I think I can live with that. Now, how about these struts? Where can I put you folks? We'll light this up too. I don't know. I'm thinking this is starting to look like a vessel. Oh, it needs a docking port. It's going to dock with things. It certainly needs a docking port. I need a big one. And we'll probably work on... Oh, I don't know. I think I can just probably live with that. Alright, so how are we doing here? Electrical generation is fine. In the dark, it will last for a while. An hour and 20 minutes. If I turn off the water recycler, it would last even longer. Well, that's cool. Of course, if you really are having electrical issues, you'd probably turn off the water recycler. Okay, how are we doing here for stress? It's cramped because I got 6 kerbals in there. Modest, let's see. Panoramic, can't do much about that. Plants, can't do much about that. Exercise, firm ground, yeah. Life sucks for a Kerbal, but, you know, we'll do that on a space station. Everything's pressurized, so that's good. Habitat, volume, scrubber. Okay, let's... Radiation's what it is. Reliability. Redundancy is great. We have 3 forms of life support and 2 forms of power generation, but actually only 1 form of propulsion. We still have to put RCS on this. RCS has got to go on here, so that will be something to put on there. Oh, speaking of reliability, let's up the quality of that nuclear engine. And habitat looks good, environment looks good. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm closing in on something here. RCS. RCS. This is going to need it. So we'll get some thruster blocks. We'll use the smaller ones. I don't think I need the bigger ones. Where's the center of mass of this thing? You always want to center your RCS thrust around the center of mass. Because this is on 6-way symmetry, it's a little... Well, we'll put 6 of these on here. I think that's okay, especially considering they're small. And maybe 4 of them around here-ish. Okay, let's get RCS Build Aid out. And there is most certainly some torque, but I don't know. I can see that these are not quite vertical. More. That looks better. Probably if I just raise these up. Just looking at the yeah. A torque there of 0.01 kilonewton meters. If we translate to the right, to the left is the same. Up is the same, down is the same. Flat out 0 on forward and backwards because everything's symmetric. Okay, I'm perfectly good with that. Okay, so that should take care of RCS. Oh, put on some small panels for that's not it. Also put on some small backup electrical. That's not a bad idea in case you break these off. What's another, I think, even good idea is I'm producing way more electrical generation than I need. So what I'm thinking is removing this symmetry, and we'll just always keep just one like that. Because we just don't need that much electrical generation. And then you have a backup solar panel all the time. We will also up the quality of said solar panels because, like I said, this thing, the idea is it's going to be up in space for a while. Fix the struts. I don't like the way they look. So we're going to take these struts again. Just going to go up higher with them. Oh, that's right on the window. That's no good. Now I'm getting entirely too picky. Okay, just below the window there. There we go. That looks okay. Let's see. These are oxygen tanks. Let's color them green. These are also oxygen. We'll color those green. This is wastewater. We'll color that like orange. This is nitrogen. We'll keep those white. This is food. We'll color those green. Inside here is food and water. Oh, I can't change the... That will just change what's in there. Okay. I think I'm on to. I think I'm really closing in. Let's put on some lights. Lights. So I want to light up sort of this inside bay area here. So we're gonna put 4 of these. So they actually almost look better gray. I like that. And we can adjust the pitch downwards. So if we turn these on, they kind of light up, you know, this whole kind of bay area a little bit. Light off. We will take some navigation lights. Let's see about this. Now this is, I'm going to call this the top of this, the dorsal part, because I think that's the hatch. So we're going to put on 2 of these. So this would be the port side, this would be the other side starboard, so this should be, again, we'll make them white. This one should be red, and it will blink. It shall blink. Blink. Oh, yeah, blink on, and then we remove the symmetry, and we just turn this one to be green. And let's see, more red and green lights. I will put a pair of lights right around here. I don't think that's blocking, kind of, well, it's what it is. Like that. These ones will be on, they won't blink. That's the idea. This one will be a green one, remove the symmetry. This one will be a red one. And then something I got into the habit of doing for really no reason at all is a whole circle of nothing but red lights down here at the bottom. So those will all be red. And do I have to worry? I can't remember, because I played so much with mods, whether thermal's energy is an issue with the nuclear reactors or not. Or whether radiation, for that matter, is an issue. That's a good question. We'll put this to the test. We'll find out. I've lit that up, that up, that up, that up. Oh, I need a light right where the hatch is. And we're going to use this as the main hatch up here. So, like that. We'll put a single light. Tuck it in there. And that light shall be blue. Just to help us find the hatch a little bit more quickly. And I think I'm also going to have these lights shining downwards. Let's do the exact same thing but shining upwards. So 4 like this. Pitch angles that way. The idea of these ones, you turn them on and they hopefully light up that part of the ship. I've already upped the shielding, John. Thank you. The shielding was like one of the first things I did was up the shielding to full. All right. This is, what are we going to call it? This is the, I've been calling them after their name, so this is the Nerve 1. I guess that's it. This is the Nerve 1. Wow. Okay. This is the Nerve 1. And what I want to do is I want to test this thing in orbit. I want to make sure, I don't know, I'm not missing anything. What time is it? Yeah, we're getting close to the end of this. So let's put this into orbit, just around Kerbin. You know what it doesn't have? I haven't put in a single reaction wheel. So let's take that off, because there are no reaction wheels in those advanced. Oh, the smaller ones would be fine, hopefully. Hopefully that'll be fine. I just realized there are no reaction wheels aboard this thing. That would have been an oversight. This thing would have had very limited attitude control. Okay, let's simulate this again. So simulate, orbit selection. Let's orbit it around Kerbin. I would like this thing to be able to fly autonomously. So I should put on a KOS probe core, like a KOS computer core, and a stock thing. But right now I got like kerbals up the wazoo in this thing. I've filled it up full of kerbals. Put the lights on. It's sort of hard to tell if it looks good or not with the wireframe, but hopefully that looks all right. Okay, let's point this thing prograde. There it goes. I'll activate that engine. And what I'm just going to do is I'm going to run the nuclear engine for a while and just see if there are issues as far as heat or anything like that goes. Because I really can't remember. I played, a mod that I played with a long time ago. There it goes. A mod I played with a long time ago was Interstellar. And I honestly get mixed with Interstellar. Heat management with nuclear power was really a big deal. And I have no idea whether it still is. So I just want to kind of watch. Well, there is radiation coming off of this. 0.250 rads per hour, but I'm not getting any kind of radiation warning on my kerbals. So I'm assuming they are appropriately shielded. I don't think heat's an issue.